Insurance agents are hiring virtual assistants completely wrong. If you're an insurance agent, this video is going to help give you the process on how to actually have success with a VA. So my name is Tyler. I own a company called Scale Ops, as well as a brand called Agency Aid. And over the past 3 years, I've helped hundreds of insurance agents to hire virtual assistants. My company, we will recruit them, we will train them, and then place them inside of agencies. We help manage them. We've seen a lot of really bad things and a lot of common trends that have led to agents not having success and thinking that VAs don't work. So I got into the VA space through my independent agency. So I started a scratch agency based out of South Carolina. I grew it largely with the help of VAs. And so I didn't know how to do this early on. I had to train all of my team members. I recorded videos of myself running a homeowner's quote in Travelers, car insurance quote in Progressive, all the different carriers, and then eventually handed these SOPs to a virtual assistant and had them take over operations. I've learned a lot after working with so many agents, and in this video, we're going to go through several different keys and tricks towards how to have success. So one of the first things that I recommend to agents is to actually figure out where the problems are. So you're probably working inside of your agency and you've got tons of quotes you have to do each day. You've got clients calling in all the time with different headaches. They've got renewals coming up. But if you really drilled it down, where are you actually stressed out? Like, what are the specific problems? And so I've got a worksheet that I give to our clients called a time analysis worksheet. And I'll just throw it up real quick here and sketch out a basic version of what it looks like. So I'm going to put my screen right here. So here we go. We have got right here, we've got the time analysis worksheet. And so this is a basic template that we send out to all of our clients. So if you're interested in something like this, we've got literally probably 50 different documents that we've got that we send out to people that work with us just to try and make your life easier. So for the time analysis worksheet, you can see first we've got the activity. And so whatever activity you're doing throughout the day, I want you to write everything down. So print this thing out and keep it next to your desk, or have a digital version, whatever you want to do. But let's say you've got your emails. And so you're going to spend 20 minutes working on your email at the start of the day. So let's say you start at 8 and then you end at 8:20. You spent 20 minutes. Did you plan to do this right now? Yes or no? And then any notes. So if you want to explain what this task is so that you know later on, you can do that. So obviously this is going to be a pain. Like filling out what time you start and finish the task is annoying. You don't have to do this forever. If you can do this ideally for 3 days to a week, that's going to give you a really good idea. When I started out, I did this for 2 or 3 days. And obviously I didn't have a template. Like I just wrote it on a sheet of paper. But this allowed me to group all of my tasks. So as we go down to the next page, we've got analysis of daily activities. So once you fill out at least a day of your time analysis worksheet, now you've got an analysis of daily activities. So you're going to use that first page and you're going to group together all of the different tasks that you did. You're going to put them all inside these columns here. So let's say over the course of a week, you did emails and you spent 20 minutes a day. So you spent 100 minutes working on emails. Does this require you? Yes or no? For the sake of the argument right now, let's say yes. Is this a repetitive task? No, because there's all types of different client questions. I kind of disagree with this. You can group your emails into several different pieces, and I can make another video on this later. And then ACT. So ACT is automate, cut, and transfer. Sorry, my handwriting's terrible. So step 1 would be automate. Can you automate this using Zapier, N8N, some type of CRM to fire off, etc.? For email, Not right now. You could use N8N. Again, I'm going to use a video later to explain this. Can you cut this? No, somebody has to do it. Can you transfer it? Possibly. Let's give you another example. That way, this will make more sense. Let's do quoting. So let's say that you're spending an hour a day quoting. That's only 2 households. If you've got several carriers, you're quoting 2 households a day and spend an hour. So let's say you spent 5 hours over the course of a week. Does this require you? No. Anybody can run quotes. If they're trained inside carrier systems, they're going to know how to do this. Is this repetitive? Yes. Can you automate, cut, or transfer this? So automation, not yet. AI can't quite run quotes. And I wonder how close we are to that. Like, you can use pieces of automation to super paste into carriers, but carriers are still going to have a concern about E&O. So somebody has to do this because they want somebody liable. Can you cut this? No. In order to sell a policy, somebody has to run the quote. But can you transfer this? Yes, you can transfer it. And so who do you transfer this to? In our example, we're going to say a virtual assistant because my team, like I mentioned, we train these VAs so they know how to quote. So that's going to be the first piece is you go through your daily task list and you're going to outline exactly where your time goes. And then you're going to figure out where you can automate, cut, and transfer. Now, if you don't want to do this exercise and you know, hey, I'm currently spending 20 hours a week running quotes, then we can fix that really easy. And we'll go over to that next example. All right, so the next document that I've got up here is your priority list and daily schedule checklist. And so this is one that has to be done. And this is where most agents mess up. So generally, an insurance agent is going to hire a virtual assistant and say, I'm really stressed out. I need you to make me not stressed out. And the virtual assistant is going to do their best, but they're probably going to start sending you a lot of messages asking, what do you want me to work on? And then the insurance agent is going to say, I want you to be proactive. I want somebody that knows what to do and goes and does it. Look, nobody is going to be able to do this. You started the agency. You're the business owner. You have got some gumption and some fire. You are a go-getter. There are very few people like you. 90% of businesses fail. And so if you're watching this and you're an insurance agent stressed out, you're in the 10%. You're in a small category of people that didn't burn out and fail inside their company. So no, other people aren't going to be able to know what to go work on like you can. Now, you may have hired a unicorn employee in the past that just really got after it and they figured out things like they were a go-getter, but that is an exception to the rule. Typically, when you hire a person, regardless of if they're a virtual assistant in office, if they're a COO, whatever, they're going to need some type of instruction to know what to work on first. And so that's why we build this priority checklist. And so here's an example. So for most agencies, I want you to make an order of operations. Now, if you remember back to school, we learned PEMDAS. So parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, like an order of operations that you follow in math to get to the right solution in an algebraic equation. We're going to do the same thing for your agency. And so we're going to make a priority list. So this one is the task order list that most of our clients use that own insurance agencies that are primarily focused on P&C insurance, generally primarily home and auto insurance or personal lines. Like, you can throw DP3s in there if you want. But typically, they're going to have the virtual assistant as soon as they sign in every morning. Maybe they send a welcome email or whatever, but by and large, task one is new quotes. So this is your highest ROI because new quotes have to get done for you to write business. You want to write business to pay for this new employee. So have them start on new quotes because as soon as this is done, you or your producers can go sell. without finished quotes, you can't sell anything. So you've got multiple people just twiddling their thumbs, scrolling through TikTok or whatever. So typically people want to fix this first. And then our service tasks, because again, you're in a service industry. You want to make sure that your clients are happy. And so we want to do service tasks really quickly as soon as they come in. So this may be certificates of insurance. It may be sending ID cards. It may be answering basic questions that come in via email. Some of this needs to be done by a licensed agent, but sometimes if it's just a basic billing question, a virtual assistant can handle this. What you pass off is up to you. Again, this is just an example. Step 3 would be renewals. So potentially going into your AMS, pulling anybody that's renewing in the next 45-ish days, running those reports, actually refreshing the quotes, bridging to the systems, pulling the final quote, etc. And then following up, like if you have a lot of people inside of your CRM that are in the presented tab that nobody has answered, you can have your virtual assistant just send some quick texts or emails or whatever. You can make templates so they're just copying and pasting. They don't have to have sales skills, but they can follow this process. And then 5th would be projects. So if you want them helping to build out things inside your CRM, if you want them helping to document SOPs inside of your agency, some people have them going on social media, making posts for your agency, or potentially reaching out to clients, wishing them a happy birthday. Whatever it is, it's up to you, but just make a priority order of operations list so that when your virtual assistant finishes all their new quotes, when they finish all the service tasks, all the renewals, they know what to work on next. What we're trying to do is save your time, because as it stands for most agencies, when they finish these tasks, they're going to be sending you messages on Slack or whatever your company uses, Teams. And they're going to ask you, what do you want me to work on? Well, you're already stressed out and you're trying to answer clients. So you're going to ignore them because you're not paying them that much, and answering your clients matters more. And then at the end of the day, you're going to realize, wow, they messaged me at 11 o'clock. So they just sat here for the last 5 hours and didn't do anything. It's not their fault they asked you, but you're going to think, oh, this virtual assistant isn't productive, whatever it may be. So let's just fix that. Let's come up with other tasks that are pretty easy to hand off that we can teach this person to do that helps make your agency better. Your social media page, let's go to your Facebook page. When's the last time you put up any types of posts there? It's so simple. You could have the VA go on ChatGPT and type in a little bit of information about your agency, put in your website and say, hey, I need you to make me 30 days worth of content. And the VA can go schedule that and it can go up automatically. And so that's one little task off of your plate. So the priority list, I think, is really important. Once you have this list and have exactly what you want the person working on, standard operating procedures are really important. And so for your SOPs, the way that I recommend everybody does it is a typed out list and a recording. Now, you don't have to do both. So potentially, if it is just running quotes inside carriers, you don't need as much as that because my team already has that. We have recorded videos on how to run a quote inside most every carrier you can think of. All of the national standard carriers we've got, a lot of regional carriers we've got. If you are like not admitted carriers or E&S, we've got trainings on how to fill out accord forms. So most of your bases are covered on running quotes. Now, service tasks, we've got training inside most of the different AMS platforms. So we've got training there as well. But if there's unique tasks to your agency, a typed out version would be great, or a recorded version. So the easiest down and dirty way to do this would be to download Loom, Loom, and record yourself do it. So actually be on your computer and work through the tasks and record yourself. I typically do it where my face is in the bottom corner of the screen and I am narrating what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And then at the end, make a Google Doc or whatever, a note that you can share with your team. And I just put all the links to all these different SOPs on there. So you could name it how to search for ID cards in Progressive, and you will hyperlink that text and put a link to your SOP document that you recorded in Loom. And once you do it one time, it's done forever. So this training may currently be for your virtual assistant, but you can use it for your future producers or whoever else that you bring on into your agency. So again, all you're trying to do is make your time now as valuable as possible and as leveraged as possible. So if you do some work now that can continue carrying over into the future, you're able to remove more and more things from your plate as you go forward. And so the final piece that I typically recommend that people use, one of the key pieces to having success with a virtual assistant is access and documentation. So for login information, I typically recommend everybody to use LastPass. LastPass, PASS.com. They have a free version. They also have a paid version that is extremely inexpensive, and you can log into all of your carrier sites and then just share a code for your virtual assistant to use to log in. So you're never giving them actual passwords. They're using your code to get in, but you can remove access anytime you want. And so that adds a layer of security, but it makes it way easier to share access to everything you need. And anytime somebody says, hey, I don't have the login information, you can go in LastPass, you can put in their email, click send, and then it's done. So it allows you to save things long term. It's way more efficient there. Then as far as documentation, what we do is an agency matrix. So this is as simple as a Google Doc or a Microsoft Sheet, whatever you want to use. And what you're going to do is you're going to list out home insurance carriers. And then you're going to put all the different carriers that you use to quote home insurance with. And then you'll do the same thing for auto. And then you do the same thing for dwelling fire or motorcycle, umbrella, trailers, whatever it may be. But this is a cheat sheet. So when your virtual assistant is running quotes, if you've got a rater, it's simple. They know to go to the comparative rater and plug in the information, and at the end, they're going to get quotes from all the carriers you use. But you probably have some carriers that don't integrate with your rater. You probably have some non-standard carriers, etc. And so make this document so that your virtual assistant knows exactly where to go anytime they need to run a quote. So they're not asking you. Like if you have a new risk in, they don't have to ask you, hey, who do I go talk to run this quote? They can just refer to the cheat sheet. We call it the agency matrix. You can call it whatever you want. Again, we have templates for all of these things we can share with you. So if you need any resources, click the link below. You can download all of these templates for free. If you need help hiring a virtual assistant, there's also a link below to schedule a call with my team. We will not charge you to hop on a call. We will give you tips and tricks on how to effectively hire a virtual assistant. We can line up an interview for you. So generally the way that would work is we will pull 3 to 4 candidates, have them in a Zoom waiting room. I tell everybody to block for an hour. A lot of times you can do it faster. If you don't know what questions to ask on the interview, we give you interview questions. We try to make it as easy as possible. If you want us to interview them and just send you a recording, we can do that as well. We try to make it as easy as possible for insurance agents to delegate things that are going on inside of their agency that don't have to be done by them. So we would love the chance to get to work with you. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. We've got more resources coming soon, and I will see you in the next video.